evening, everyone. Apologies, as I say, I had to empty my car quickly this morning and didn't put that back in, and I've completely forgotten when I arrived here. So I do apologise for the late start. Thank you all for attending. We'll start the meeting with apologies for absence, please, Andrew.
I have apologies from Councillor Innes.
Right. Item 2, declarations of interest. Has anyone? None. Right. Minutes of the previous Parish Council meeting of the 13th of February. You've all received a copy of those. Could I ask, can I have a proposer and seconder if you agree with those minutes? Proposed by Pauline, seconded by Clive. Thank you, Clive. Thank you very much. And you remember the events committee one?
I'm afraid it's not completed yet. I'll
Right.
it as soon as it's...
That's what I thought, because I couldn't find it and I was looking at it before I came. Right. And then item 4 is to look at the previous minutes and to have updates on anything that is not listed on the agenda.
Is 15A?
We're still
15A is still open, I think.
open.
Yes.
Yeah, we're proving what doesn't own it.
Yep.
The 2 properties we thought do, they don't. I'm waiting for the land registry to come back to me.
Right, thank you.
So
And-
hopefully they will.
15F? Are we still
Oh, they're in
problems
place.
with road? No.
Oh, 15.
CCTV.
So, oh, F, sorry. Yep. Andrew?
CCTV, well, I've been into the office and it is working as source, but I still can't get access. I have emailed the suppliers, providers, and they haven't got back to me, so I have to chase that up.
Right. So we'll leave those as
Right.
2 open items.
17A?
Yeah.
This is Christiane contacting Mary about
Mary, correct.
speed watch.
I've got the contractor tomorrow, whatever. Sorry.
Okay, now we'll carry that one forward. River School letter about the gates.
Yes, I have been in touch with the school and I've got a response from the head teacher. Just 1 moment. So we were asking, we were also asking about a lollipop person. Mr. Brennigan has said they haven't advertised one for many years. It's not something he's actually got any experience of, so it must be many years ago. He's not sure about whether the school's in a position to afford an additional member of staff, so it's a budgetary, people do get paid, so it's a budgetary thing, but he's going to look into it. As to the gates, he says the time of gates opening is usually 8:35 a.m, with the school open to children at 8:45, registration closes at 8:55. And he says this is more than enough time, and being out on the gates every day, we see that most parents are already on the playground waiting for the school to open. By 8:50 there are less and less children coming into school.
Isn't that an argument for me to say they should open the classroom doors at that time, not just the playground gate, when everybody's already there and waiting?
He says the issue is later right when many parents decide to take risks to drop children close to the school. It'd be good to know what other parents, community members and the school can do to report them without getting into confrontation.
Well, I think actually what Councillor Atkins has raised is a good point, and I think we ought to go back to the school and say, we've listened to what he says, but
I
Can
know,
we look
most
at-
people are there at 8:30.
yeah.
And then wait.
And in all honesty, that's not a lot of time for the number of people to actually get from their cars to the school. I'm saying if the amount of time you've got within 10 or 15 minutes, all those people have got to get to the school somehow. You know,
And a
and
lot of
it's
them
going to
have to be in
cause
our office.
congestion on the road, or congestion in. So could we ask that question, please?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, one other thing just add to that, I've also been in touch with DDC Parking, and they have agreed to do visits twice a month.
Oh,
to the
great,
school.
well done, yeah.
And I also asked them about, previously visits to schools were listed on the website and when and where they did it. Apparently this fell into, stopped doing when the member of staff who was doing it retired, and no one noticed it wasn't being done anymore, so he's going to reintroduce that. So it will be put on the,
Yep.
on the website, on the DDC website, when they do attend.
Thank you, that's good.
I thought we were rather alarmed at 17C last time that it's reported that police have been exercising their dogs in the recreation ground. Have we written to them?
Not yet, after a very long list of things.
That's the enforcement officer, yes, or,
No, it's the-
No,
it's
the police.
well, no, but we asked that you write to DDC enforcement with regard to dogs in general on the rep, didn't we?
No, I think DDC enforcement was about the school visits. The dogs were a separate thing, but I'm.
No, if you look there, it's all dogs in rec, and the final part, it was agreed to write to DDC enforcement, asking them to attend if possible more to the rec.
Yep, okay, I'll get into them, in touch with them, but I think I also need to write to the police to ask them to.
Well, so
Set their dogs somewhere else.
I hadn't, it was reported once, but nobody has ever seen it, and nobody I know saw it. It was supposedly seen by someone, but so no, I mean, by all means, yeah, letter to the police then, with regard to the exercising. No, I thought that we'd just ask DDC enforcement to make certain they were more available all around in the rec. Right. I've got one which is 23A, which is River School, letter regarding the bins.
Yeah, I'll go follow up on that. Yes, there used to be a bin there. The village hall were finding that it became extremely smelly.
Yep.
People putting things like nappies, household waste, all kinds of things was going in it. Apparently it was relocated to the recreation ground, that particular bin.
Right.
And I asked Chairman of the Village Hall whether they would be open to a replacement, and they said no. They don't want to be on that location.
That's the village hall.
Yeah,
Didn't we end up in the river one time?
probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
I have got costs of installation of the bin. It would actually, we'd have to pay for it, or someone would have to pay for it.
And have it emptied.
And the annual
Yeah.
emptying cost, yeah.
Could we put one near the phone box?
There is one.
There's one down there, yeah.
There's one by the court, is that the one we need?
Yeah,
Quite a small one,
yeah, that's the co-op stuff.
yeah. You mean that one, not the one?
Have we replied at all to the school with regard to that letter, or?
I have replied once and said I'll get back to them.
Yeah, right.
At the end.
Well,
The result was,
yeah, if you've got the
result is no.
end result on what it is,
Yeah.
it's a great pity, but no, it's good. Right, sorry, has anyone else got anything on those? If not, we'll move on to item 7, which is to receive reports, and I know that District Councillor Collar would like to be hasty retreat, yes?
Not district.
Oh, Kent Councillor, sorry. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
No, they don't do that. Let me stand up, because I'm right behind the camera, and it's
Yeah.
looking at you. So.
Are you, yeah.
Right, good evening everybody. First off, Kent County Council have got some consultations going. One's about the dates of the school terms up until 2028. So if you want to get involved in that, it's all on the website. And there's one I thought you might be interested in, St Margaret's at Cliff, 20 mile an hour on certain roads. So, be interested to see that. There's also one for diversion of a public footpath, but it's not in our area, so the news items. Some good news. Well, first of all, we got the budget through. It was a hell of a job, but we got it through. I won't go into details. You'll be here all night. But we have received some extra funding from the government for potholes. But it's
50 million.
yeah, but there are more.
Potholes and road, yes.
No, there's more potholes been filled this year
No, 8.6.
than there was the whole of last year already, and there's still a hell of a lot to go. It comes down to the poor state of the roads
The roads, yes.
in general. There's also a spring vaccination chase-up going on because, as you probably know, measles, mumps and rubella, a lot of children these days not recovering, and there's a lot of COVID around still, even around here. So, I suppose the answer there is get jabbed, or anybody you know that needs a jab, make sure they're jabbed. There's also a pressure from Kent businesses to have international trains stopping in Kent again, namely Ebbsfleet and Birchwood. And lastly, we've asked for government help when the EES system comes in. That's entry and exit system. Some of you may know a bit about it. It's this biometrics on passports. There was an article on BBC South East a couple of weeks ago. Eurotunnel are all ready for it. Port of Dover's nowhere near ready for it, and not likely to be. So, what does that mean?
Queues.
Queues. So, I know that it's not starting till October. That's not, but of course you've got all the bank holidays that we normally have, including Easter. So I've worked up a list of 9 dates when we could have congestion. Historically we've had congestion. I've told the Kent Resilience Forum, Kent County Council, Port of Dover, Harbour Board as we know, and told them that's when we expect Dover not to be congested. We want to see maximum effort from them. They've listened, or looked as if they listened, but we'll have to wait till those weekends to work it out.
We're actually having a meeting, you and I have been preparing
Yeah,
a meeting, and we're
yeah,
actually having a
yeah.
meeting, organised meeting in the next week.
Yeah,
Doesn't look good, does it?
does.
Well, they know about it, that's all, that, you know, we have told them, and they know, and the MP is putting pressure on as well, because they don't reckon the government's up to scratch. So the pressure is coming from everywhere.
Well, no, but they don't get our roads clear.
No,
That's about all we've got, Nick, I think, at the moment, unless there are any questions, particularly on the EES.
No, yeah, if I could say on that, I mean, working for one of the ferry companies, the problem is always exaggerated at Easter by the number of coaches the ferry companies accept. And really, the DHB or someone, Port of Dover, should restrict the number that they're allowed to take per ferry, because if not, you will have the same problem next year. They roll up, there's hundreds, the slightest hiccup, and then you've got coaches full of people which have to take priority. The lorries then queue up behind, the coaches that then arrive are stuck behind lorries. It's a question of, we all know of the problem, the Port of Dover know the problem, but they are the ones that could actually make a decision.
And you, as you probably know, Eurotunnel has stopped taking coaches.
Exactly. And, yeah, Dover is happy to accept the coaches.
Well, somebody has to take them, so.
Yes, yeah, but
Yeah,
it's,
that's why
but
there's
then,
not as many.
as a Dover-Havorian, don't complain about the queues of coaches, because that is bound to happen again this year. And it's not a question it may, it will happen unless there is a real change.
with the European, well, what, you've got the football, you've got the
The Olympics.
Olympics and the disabled Olympics.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be. That's why Nigel and myself, been pressurised since the beginning of the year about this, haven't we?
Yeah.
And eventually, we're now having, a meeting with everyone's all getting together in the next couple of weeks, isn't it?
Something like that, but
Yeah.
it's talking, Ollie. It's
Yeah, I
talking.
know,
Yeah.
but it's action.
I've been talking up to them for 25 years and they're just not listening.
The one thing that I would like to raise at this particular point, because we've had this time and time again,
Yeah.
and that is the authorities and police, I don't know whether it's anybody else as well, but the key points are at the top of Lytton Hill and at the Whitfield roundabout, because this is where lorries come down the A2 and duck off, and they come down through the town, and that should be stopped.
And the Dookie Horse roundabout.
Well, it's not so bad, that one.
It is when it gets to the bottom.
Yeah, but
But again, if I could add, the reason the lorries do that is they know the coaches will be there
Yeah.
blocking the
Yeah.
wall if they come down the 20.
yeah,
So they try to short circuit
exactly.
that.
But
it's-
then we get the problems
but-
because the
Whereas
lorries.
the root cause is the number of coaches that the port allows in during certain days of the year, and you can see they flood in and it holds the lorries up. The drivers then, who are desperate to make deliveries or to get home, are trying to get into the town. So yeah, by all means stop them, but
But we've had this out time and time again, and there have been instances where the authorities, the police, have been up at the top of Lytton Hill and at the Whitfield roundabout, and they've stopped the lorries coming into the town. But coming down Whitfield Hill and through Temple Ewell and all that sort of thing, and that's before they get into the town and cause all the problems.
Yeah.
But that is something that should be done as a matter of course.
Totally agree.
Yeah. It affects me at the cruise terminal as well quite drastically when there's no empty coaches coming to us either that could pick up those paying guests for the day.
It's even worse when you think about it. What about people living at Eastcliff,
Yeah,
Gateway Flats,
Oh.
Waterloo Mansions,
they can't.
if they've got carers coming,
Yeah.
or even if they just need supplies?
Dreadful.
Good luck. Yeah.
Well, when they're fighting, as Ollie says,
but I honestly believe DDC should take it up with the Port of Dover.
Is Dave listening? He's your DDC man.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that, obviously I'm talking locally, so DDC need to be having serious talks with the Port of Dover, and please don't mention my name, but in all honesty,
There's this
they
bloke.
have the answer in their hands. They've got to restrict the number of coaches they allow per ship, per operator.
Yeah,
And tough cookie, if
Well,
they
it's money,
can't get
isn't
them
it?
on,
but you know what it is, Nick. We're basically a freight forwarding port that takes the old car.
yeah.
When it comes round to holiday time, all these cars come and this
And the
freight
freight-
still
And
comes.
the freight, which is loyal to the port, 52
Yeah.
weeks of the year, then can't get in.
But
Yeah.
you can't control passenger traffic, tourist traffic. You can't be controlled by freight, apparently.
You can if they restrict the number of coaches. Coaches that cause the problem. The sheer
Well,
number
they
of
reckon,
coaches.
they're going to do a bit more at the that piece of land which is at the engine shed down at Western.
Yeah.
They reckon they're going to do more clearance there, but they still got to come along the A20.
But all they're doing is holding them there, so it's slightly less in stack or tap, but there is
No,
closer to the port.
taps further back.
Yeah, but I say it's slightly closer.
Taps on now.
Yes, it was on late afternoon.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, yeah.
4 o'clock again.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, I was in the office and, but,
Anyway,
yeah,
we're doing our best.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Safe journey tomorrow. Yes.
Thanks, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Hope it's not raining.
Right.
No, he's covered everything. Nigel has covered brilliantly everything. I think absolutely everything. I had exactly the same. Apart from Wednesday is no smoking day. And you can look it up on www.kent.gov.uk smoke free if anyone needs any
It's
help.
not tomorrow.
Wednesday the 13th.
Tomorrow.
There we
So you giving your vape up for the
go.
day?
No, that's not smoking, that's me.
I don't know.
It's very well publicised, isn't it?
It's all over on the social media on KCC, but no, it hasn't. I agree with that.
That's the trouble, getting the message out to people.
Yes.
What do you do these days? You haven't got local papers.
Yeah.
Anyway,
TikTok.
So you've not got nothing else to say. So,
I'll listen to
Right,
it.
no,
listen to me.
Yeah, I'll have a listen to
Oh,
it.
you're off.
I'm going to listen to
Isn't
you.
that interesting? Right. So, report-wise, so I was not going to come to tonight's meeting without having a report back from Alice. So, obviously, I went up and spoke to her today, but I believe that the same report, after we've just had a chat with the same report that she gave me today, obviously you've seen sort of yourself. It's looking quite good regarding the planning applications and the applications for the River Rec. I think finally, touch wood, as a
Yes.
parish council, you managed to get somewhere with a load of to and fro. It's been very painful for yourselves. So that's that. DDC budget on the 6th of March. Obviously, a budget was agreed at DDC. So a Band D property now has unfortunately it's increased by £6.21. So it's or 2.98%. So you'll be paying now from £208 to £214. There are no major reductions in services, so that's good as such. So though you're paying a bit more, you're not actually losing any of the services at the moment. So that's that. We've got. You may have also seen on the press and on the news now. We'll talk a little bit about Betshanger, the planning application. Yes. Obviously that went through. I was part of that on the planning team. Really controversial application.
Yes.
We managed. Some people may think it's I think it's a good thing that we managed to get it through. It's got to only help keep Betshanger Park going for many years to come. A bit about the application. So the actual potentially the applicant, if they can't do what they say they're going to do with mitigation against environment and ecological and all that stuff and all that sort of stuff, they've got, which I've never seen it before, they've actually got a 7-year term to open the application, the planning application's open for 7 years rather than a 3-year, traditionally 3-year permission grant. So that gives them 7 years to move the reptiles, move the turtle doves and mitigate against everything that potentially is there. So we're not going to see it starting work any time very, very soon, but hopefully I hope that the company can do it and can get it off the ground. They've got a lot of work to do there. We've got some, obviously, people want to recognise some awards coming up, Reach Awards. So this is DDC are running a sort of scheme where you can volunteer or submit any candidates that you think are worthy of an award. We've got Litter Picker of the Year, Junior Litter Picker of the Year, Green Business Award, Community Impact Award or Green School Award. Any candidate that anyone would wish to submit have got to be in by the 6th of May 2024. So that's something coming up there. It's called the Reach Awards. I'll forward all this onto the clerk anyway. What else we've got? Volunteers, Great British Spring Clean. So DDC are looking for volunteers. The first one's mid-March to do a great big litter pick. So if you can put that on your social media, that'd be more helpful. Thank you very much. And then what else? We've got Dover District Sports Spectacular coming up on the 11th of April from 10 AM to 6 PM, and that's up at the Duke York School. So that's basically gives sport clubs across the area being invited to get involved in the very first Dover District Sports Spectacular, which is all set to get up and running at the Duke York Royal Military School. So it's basically inviting any local groups, sports groups, to go up there, mix and sort of work with each other. And then finally we've got the Dover Drop-In event, which is on the 22nd of March, 5 PM to 9 PM, and that's at the Amazing Dew. And that's a free trail to give people the opportunity to sort of walk around and see the museum and see certain parts of Dover town. And that's pretty much it, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Anyone, any questions? questions from members of the public?
No, thank you.
Right.
I've actually got one letter.
Oh, sorry, yes, yeah.
We've had a few letters from this gentleman before. It's a letter who, a gentleman who lives behind the recreation ground in River Meadow. He's written to us before about problems with antisocial behaviour, that kind of thing. He says, are there any plans to lock the recreation ground up at night again? We are experiencing antisocial behaviour from there again tonight. People shouting and swearing in the children's park by Lewisham Road. Can this be brought up at the next council meeting? This wouldn't happen if the gates were locked up at night and would reduce the crime rate in the area. I received this 20th of February.
I mean, we as a parish council, we had for a number of years locked the gates for a different reason. It was an antisocial reason, but it certainly wasn't vandalising or bad language in the wreck. But we tried for a period not locking the gates, and we did that purely on financial grounds, because to employ someone for a number of hours every week, of a morning and of an evening, to actually make certain the wreck is clear of people, involved us in massive expense, and it was very expensive, and we just can't afford, and no other park in the area, I think, locks up overnight.
Could we just lock up that playground? Or is that locked up?
A big playground.
The small one.
Small.
Where the,
Even the fence is only waist high, isn't it?
no,
It's the gravel lane.
the antisocial behaviour is on the other one or not?
It's on the one at the end.
Yeah, the one with the big fence.
Quite like
The old
it.
one.
The old,
Where the tractor is?
Oh gosh, I now know who the letter's from. Yes, yeah.
Yes, that end.
Does the gentleman report it when it happens? Does he report it either to Dover District or to the police?
We've asked and suggested that to the gentleman concerned a number of times. It's,
I don't
It
know.
might help when we just lock that
Because
one.
if, I mean,
who locks it?
both
Someone's
Dover
got to
District,
lock it.
both the council and the police, I'm sure would respond. I mean, it's just a matter, I mean, you could, even if it was something that he thought was an emergency, if you're out of duty officer.
Someone's got
I
to
mean,
respond.
can we reply and just let him know that the only course of action, for economic reasons, we can't afford
Maybe he
to
wants to
lock it.
Well, he'd be the locker up.
Yeah, and then what should be overlaid, so we get up, we can't get in, can't get out. Yes,
You
yeah.
could maybe ask him if he wants to look up the volunteer to look up that playground.
Is it just a small play area we're on about? When you said small play area,
the old,
I mean,
That's
it's
I'm
not-
told, but the
I
old
mean,
one.
from the size
Yes.
of it,
Yes,
the one with the tractor in it.
yes,
Yes,
yeah,
the
no, I
old
know
one.
which one,
Yeah.
no, I was thinking he was
It's not this end, it's that.
manning closer somewhere, but I
Yeah,
now
you can
know.
hustle that and get it.
But I would suggest that we ask him, you know, if,
That's on
as and when he spots this, you know, would he please report it to the police? Which is
Colin
what
wants to say
should
something.
happen.
Colin wants to say something.
Sorry, Chair, just quickly on that, with my DEC hat on, not KCC hat on, and as the shadow portfolio holder to community, etc., and having been a portfolio holder of community, the more data that Dover has and the police have, the more they will actually come out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So there, if it is reported, both at DDC, because they do have reports of antisocial behaviour, and more antisocial behaviour in a certain area, then they will start putting, they've got mobile cameras that they can take out around the district. They've got 5 mobile cameras, 2 hotspots. And a hotspot, if this man reports, it becomes a hotspot. So if he reports it to Dover District and the police, it doesn't have to be 999, it could be, what's that, is it 111 or whatever it is, the other one, and report it to Dover District on their website, antisocial behaviour, it does actually get logged. And the more logging, if he wants to do it, the more they'll understand, and then they'll come out and see him. But him reporting it to you is, without reporting it to them, it's pretty pointless, because you
The
don't,
horse
you
is
as a,
bolted,
you, yeah,
yes.
the horse is
Yeah.
bolted and you don't. So if he reports it immediately,
Yes.
they probably won't come out immediately, but it's actually logged, and then they'll start taking it more seriously.
Yes, yeah.
So that's all I can say, so please,
Yeah, no,
please
thank
do
you.
tell
I
him to
had
report.
forgotten, because we did have, when we were having some quite serious problems in the wreck, we actually got involved with the department at DD.
Yeah, it's called
Yes.
CRFC, Community
Wasn't it?
something
But-
for
but,
it.
yeah,
But yeah, they do like getting in there. If
Yes.
there's a real problem, they definitely get there.
Yeah, no, they did. The guy came out and
Yeah.
it did help, but the problems, I shouldn't say this, but the problems have reduced quite considerably. I mean, we were getting regular vandalism,
Yeah.
serious vandalism, and at the moment.
But this is what we try and report across the district, because people
Yes.
turn around and say, oh, they vandalised it, did you report it? No, well,
Yeah.
please, that you've got to report it, you know. Everything's got to report it, otherwise, just say talk. Sorry on that.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, can I go as well?
Of course, yes, thank you for coming, the two of you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Take
Sorry,
care.
Chair, as well, just thought I did forget as well, I've had obviously some feedback regarding the wheelie bin green waste collections up at Kelper Road and all that sort of stuff. I'm not getting out to them, I'm on top of it, and I'm sort of working with
Right, when you say the wheelie bin, they're proper house
The
bins.
new one.
the new wheelie bin. So Kelper Road, so at the moment, sorry, you may not be aware, so Kelper Road and basically the trackway, where the sort of the 7.5 tonne or the smaller vehicles generally go up and collect the wheelie bins. With green waste at the moment, they're not doing that because of obviously it's not viable, so they're not actually sent there. So if you've got a green waste collection and you live up a tight road, they're not collecting them.
Oh, I didn't really know.
No.
Compost bag.
Yeah, so
Well, how long's that been going on for?
Started about a month ago.
yeah,
So
so
why have they suddenly decided to
Well,
not
what
do it?
because
Their lorry's bigger?
no, it's because they can't get the big. They can't get. So basically, obviously, to make it economical, they need to send. So basically, get a 26-tonne lorry and a 16-tonne lorry. So where they can't get 26-tonne waste lorries, obviously they are not going and collecting people's green waste.
But what they are doing, those that do have the green waste collection, they're no longer going to accept bags.
No, it's
They're
wheelie
taking wheelie bins.
We
And
take a wheelie
if you don't already have an agreement with them, you've got to pay £60 for the wheelie
Yeah.
bin.
That's right.
You know, but
Well,
it's,
I was going to bring this up on the sort of run around councils, but I was contacted recently by a local resident who lives up Capel Road, and she went through the whole thing with me, and I didn't know anything about this, but it's a funny sort of situation because the bags are out, bins are in, but the residents who want to use it have got to buy the bins, but now they're told that having bought the bins, that
They can't be
they
The
can't
lorries
get
are-
the lorries up
Yeah,
there.
so I'm working
Which
with
is-
Ian Dunlin at DDC to try and see how we can resolve it.
yeah.
There's another thing as well.
It's
that
across the district, so we are getting an awful lot on the green waste token, so that's across the district.
Thank you.
So anyway.
Thank you very, very much.
Cheers.
Thanks. See you. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Can I?
Right, item 7, planning matters.
We have one, which is, it's chopping trees, Craven Hill, a house that backs onto the river.
It's a studio.
Studio house, yeah, Craven Mill, just off Kingston Close, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, it's to take them down there, so we can do that. It's rather large. So it's going down about, they've asked for 20% to take it down. They've done it before, years ago. It does need coming down. Crown lifting and lateral branches are going to come off.
Yep.
Because the weight of them when they get wet is looking a little dangerous. So they're going to hopefully pass that to cut it. But that is our only one.
Anyone?
No one's got any problems with that, obviously.
Good. All right. Any decisions?
I
received the financial report.
Okay, you've got a cut down version of it. So I have provided the full version for you digitally, which includes bank statements, but this is just the reconciliation and the ins and outs.
It's nice to see no one presented checks, that's obviously because of online banking, yes.
Yes,
Yes, no,
the check in
Much
months.
better.
Yeah, you always had these checks that were sitting around, so you now know the money is paid over, yes, yeah. So what you see is exactly where we are,
That's
it's
good.
good.
So income at the bottom page, last catch up on the VAT up to March of this year it came in, so 6,800. The cafe with their monthly utilities payments, the office lease, and we got one check, no, an online payment rather, came in for the bank. So £7,785 income. Actually, a bit more than we spent. So February's
Closing balance, yeah.
Obviously EDF, handyman, landscaping, cleaning, service for the mower. We had to pay for the tree that was the lime tree that was removed, the stump grinding.
Oh, yes,
That.
yes. Got that.
Last bill from the Methodist Church hall hire. Bill from John Hill for works from September to date.
And we're up to date with him because the weather's been that bad, there's nothing happening.
Purchase of a whole hose reel.
Yes.
Not the hose, just the reel that goes on. The annual cost of our 4G broadband for the recreation ground and refuse. So actually you've got the figure there for the VAT at the bottom, the grand total up to February, so that will be the amount that we've got to come back from this year so far. So let's start working on that.
Are we sticking to this 4G broadband then? When we can't access the,
Well, hopefully they can resolve the problem.
is that little feature really worth that much money then? Is that 400 or?
Well, as long as we can get remote access, it's not practical to look at it in the recreation ground. There's
Yeah, okay.
But it wasn't even, to physically have to go there, which we
Yes.
need to do is this.
You know what I just get on that it's in the past the CCTV footage wasn't really actually any advantage for us. It didn't catch anybody out, or nobody was actually prosecuted due to CCTV. It was just always just a nice picture of some teenagers that we couldn't publish, and the police would just look at it or file it somewhere.
Well, the only result that we did have, not particularly for us, it was that stolen motorbike. So somebody stole a motorbike from somewhere up Wind Road, I think, and drove it down to the recreation grounds late one night, brought it, came and fetched it
Yeah.
the next morning, and we got some lovely footage that the police were very pleased with and enabled them to prosecute them
Yeah.
because they could
Okay.
see that they could identify them, but obviously it wasn't actually
That was
something
it.
that happened. It just
It's shining glory moment then.
No, but I also think having the CCT possibility there is a deterrent, yes. I think if we took it out,
Yes.
yeah, I may be completely wrong. I agree with you, it's so frustrating. Even when we see who's done what, it's been of no use to us and you can't even name and shame or show and shame. But I think if we take it out, it is potentially a deterrent of worse things to happen.
The notices and the cameras.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
But just so you know, the hose reel that Andrew mentioned there, we brought 3 lengths of hose, so we've got 150 metres of hose, and you can't get a domestic hose reel to take 150 metres. So GW Landscapes came up with a brilliant, it's a little trolley, it's absolutely amazing, it's only £100 odd, wasn't it? But now got enough homes to reach virtually anywhere
Yeah.
in the rec, which is handy. Yeah. Right.
That's it from the financial
Yep.
report.
Nobody got any other questions on that?
No.
Right. Recreation ground, no, I mean, we are going to discuss, which is a big issue at the moment, which is the groundwork maintenance. Other than that, the weather's been bad, not a lot has been happening in the rec. Cafe is open slightly more, but nothing to actually report at the moment. The weather is against us doing really anything. Football's playing there, it's playing well. I've left it to Rangers, they inspect the pitch and they have a couple of times said, no, we're not playing. So they're actually acting responsibly, because if they muck it up one week, they muck it up for 3 or 4 weeks after that, and it's working well. Other pitches, unfortunately, were played on, and they've been closed completely. Elmsvale, the Danes, I think they're now open, but they were absolutely chewed up. And Rangers, thank goodness, very sensibly took the role, because it's normally the referee gets there, but with Rangers, they're the referees, etc. But no, it works extremely, it's working well. But nothing else to report on the rec other than that.
Just one question, picking up from what Dave Beaton was just saying. Where are we exactly with getting these 2 planning permissions?
Yes, I'd love to say that I know exactly where we are. Sport England have completely lifted their objection to the changing rooms, but Andrew, now you're
The advice that we've now received is that they suggest, DDC suggests that we seek a pre-application advice before resubmitting the application for the top floor. And at that meeting we can discuss where everything is. And there's also just talks of another meeting with Sport England and the Kent FA.
But I mean, it's unfortunately Sport England is the one, the FA, I think, are as frustrated as we are. It's holding up everything we said we'd do for them with regard to downstairs.
So that's the upstairs, but the downstairs one, where are we with that? Are they,
Well, they have reconsulted apparently and lifted their objections, so presumably they will
Pass
they will
it.
pass that.
We're waiting for that, yes.
so that one will come out. I should have checked up on this before, but did we get building regulation approval?
I think so, yeah.
Well, that one will almost certainly need to be put in again. But then,
We were waiting, yeah,
When we're putting it into the...
until we know exactly.
that's right,
Sport, yeah.
but the bottom one, the change of use to the meeting room, we are waiting for the planning permission. The building regulation approval will need to be put in again. And then, of course, it's the retender.
Yeah, yes, yeah, I think we're all aware of that, Clive. I mean, as you know, it was carried on even before I came in the chair. It's a muddle that we got into because of problems within DDC, and that's why David Bean and the others are really doing everything they can to get the situation straight. But no, it's a very uncomfy situation, very uncomfy. No, I wish I could say, oh yeah, it's clear and cut and dry. No, it's not. Right, item 10, to receive any general correspondence.
I do have one. Nothing very much, but it's the Neighbourhood Watch Network are doing some crime prevention webinars. So it's all online or on Zoom, and they're talking about home security, antisocial behaviour, vehicle crime, understanding the role of isolation and loneliness in scams, stalking and female
you suggest that to that person who reported the antisocial behaviour?
Yeah, you could do. So I can circulate that in case anyone's interested in.
Sure. I'll have a word about me now.
And that's it for correspondence.
Lovely. Right. 11. Christiane, to set a date. The next meeting, apologies.
Yes.
Apologies for that.
Oh, yeah, so Nick, you're in charge of this one because I really would like you there this time.
Everything from
I was looking at April, mid-April, which is like 5-6 weeks after the last one, so this has a bit of time to do. Are you available on the 19th of April? Or 18th?
Thursday or Friday, isn't it?
Yeah.
We can't do the 18th, we know.
Go for the,
What are you doing then?
We've got a trustees course.
you said the 19th, yes.
Yeah?
Yes, yeah.
I'm
Are you
not.
19th?
19th to Friday?
Friday the 19th,
What?
Friday.
Yeah.
Friday the
Yeah.
19th.
Clive?
I can't do that. We're on holiday that week.
Nice.
Taking too many holidays.
You, oh,
That's what it's saying to me.
but you two,
Yeah.
So 19th, and what time is that on the 19th? Do you do the morning one or?
Either.
we could go and to the cafe, wouldn't we? Yeah. Morning then.
So what, 10 o'clock?
10, yeah. All right.
Well, just so you do know, I had to drop them and yet another note. The toilets were left open over the weekend, and really they've done it so many times. But yeah, they just, oh, we forgot. They've got the key hanging on the door now, so as they go out, they can't forget it. And Robin luckily picks up, and we've had no damage, but they've done it so many times. Sorry, I thought I'd let you know. As you just say, I did drop them a note just to say it's unlocked again. Right, that's it. Any other information?
I've got a couple of little bits. Something that came out in conversations with Mr. Brinnicum is that this year is the River School's 150th anniversary,
Wow.
and they will be inviting us to attend certain events. They've got Derek Leach working on some kind of display.
Will they come to the fete with that?
It could do, inviting, don't know.
Yeah, definitely yes to.
And just the other thing is that when I was speaking to our PC a few months ago, he did say that April he should be able to attend that meeting. So,
Which is the 9th?
Anything else?
Actually, did we do Parish Council reports? We did.
No.
No, I didn't actually. No, I jumped that, didn't I? I'm in such a hurry. Right, should we?
No, nothing now.
No.
Christiane? That's why we forgot it.
Right.
Yeah.
The only thing, when I think about it, I mentioned the green bins, because I had the green bag system, so I've just had to pay the annual fee. I'm not buy the bin, but still it doesn't arrive.
No, no one's got anything
No,
to
yeah.
say yet. No, it will come. It'll be interesting to see just how big this bin is and how practical it is to.
I assume it's going to be about the same size as our
I
record.
think it's bigger.
Is it really?
I think
No, no, no.
you wouldn't get 6 bags of rubbish in a normal bin.
No,
Or they're taking less rubbish for more money.
yeah, well, that's
Yes.
that seems to be the way.
Yes.
The way of the world. Yeah, pay more and get less. Yes.
Right, so that's the parish council. Thank you, Andrew, for yes. Right, and then item 13 is for me proposed motion that we exclude the press and public from the following item on the grounds that it may contain sensitive commercial information. So, Mr. Hall, I
Sorry.
do apologise.
That's all right.
Yeah, but thank you very much indeed for coming. Sorry I was They do, yes.